G'day guys, I thought I would come on and go live. Why not? Something different, eh? Excuse me. It's Friday night for you Americans. It's wee hours of the mornings for you British people and Europeans. And we've got time discrepancy across the board because it's Saturday morning for me. I thought I would come on here, and I did think about doing the ball challenge because I've been practicing. It took me 24 minutes the first one. It took me, I think, 14 minutes the second one, and I got that down to about 2.5 minutes in time-lapse. Hello. I've had a better week. Oh dear, my birthday. Wow, did I get overwhelmed with positive happy birthdays. Like, there was a lot there. Thank you so much, all of you. Really appreciate it. Really glad that I had a nice day. I got to see my eldest child for the evening, which was wonderful. Saw my youngest in the morning. Got lots and lots and lots of happy birthdays from the feed. I did have a few tequilas, not many. I got given a few beers as well, so I got into a kind of a almost tipsy mood, maybe tipsy. It was fun. I had a great day. Easter challenge. Well done, you guys. My week has been a bit low, and I didn't carve an egg. I didn't do it. I know that some weeks doing a challenge is hard, especially when wood carving is a hobby. I push a bit too hard. I did a whole load of challenges for people to do, for beginners to undertake, so that they would go from being uninitiated into initiated. To do all of the challenges, at the end of it you would come out as a really good carver. That's what they're there for. Just because I've dropped a few. Life hasn't necessarily allowed it, or the group hasn't necessarily allowed it. So it's what it is. So yeah, it's been a good week. I've done a fair bit of carving. Done quite a bit. Hello, Tammy. Yeah, done a fair bit of carving this week. Actually, it's like it's the thing to do. What have I done? I did some balls. I did some stars. I've done some more faces. Yeah. Well, I thought I'd come on because usually I'm a happy-go-lucky type bloke. I've got my good hat on, so not my oh dear. Hey Carl, loves you mate. Nice, Steve. God, you put some stuff up on the feed this week. What a good effort. Love. Hi James. Tammy, your coloured shuttle. Wow. I mean, that is specky. That's I like that. My Helvy knife. I've got a Helvy knife, and I love it. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, it has similar colours, although not quite the colour blend. It's got the variation in it. I like the way that they use ply handles. It's often touted as skateboard wood with the colours. Oh, you're welcome, Tammy. They're very specky, your tatting shuttles, and if anybody asks, tatting shuttles are for making lace. You should put tattle shuttles for lace making. I see how many times people ask. Hello, Kate. How you going? Yeah, look, people, and Margie, hello. Yes, I'm wearing my proper hat. That means not the other one. I'm being bugged to get off my gadget, but I had to check in. Hey, Kristen. I haven't forgotten the resin video. I will be getting to that. I have had a big week. I tidied my shed. I wish I could walk you around it, but the signal... Well, sod it. Hopefully the signal doesn't drop out. We'll have a look. Yes, they do. They ask every time. Okay, check this out. I couldn't move in here before because all of that stuff there was everywhere. Now I've stacked all my wood and my timbers up high. I haven't got the big stuff that I got the other day. And then of course there's the dark area. If I go into the dark, I might lose you. If I do, I'll walk back out. But I need to get to the light. I've got the light switch because I'm not singing any songs about going into the dark. Ting, 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 ting. And in my shed, oh, it's allowing me to. I have finally cleared. Every workbench has got just little bits on it that I'm still sorting. But wow, exactly. That's what I thought when I finally tidied up. Now, I don't come in here very often because I've been working out on the table out there. But the signal dropping, I don't want the signal to drop. Like Simon, in case you haven't seen it, oh, look at that! I had to move. In fact, I've got my phone on the modem so that it would reconnect. But I thought I would come in here. And yes, the fact that I've got my shed sorted is I'm so happy that I finally got it done. It was important to me. It means I can work out there. It also means I can set the camera up for recording without necessarily having the having live. I won't be able to do lives in there yet, although I do have a gadget that may well assist me to be able to do lives from in there, and if I can, well then I guess I'll do a few more tutorials. I've still got this area outside to clear up, but I am getting there, slowly chipping away. It means less time on BWC, which is a little unfortunate because I've spent a lot of time in there in the last, oh, a bit bright, spent a bit of time making sure that people are okay, that questions are answered. But I'm going to need some more moderators. The guys have done a brilliant job. They're doing a brilliant job. But what we've got is that a few of them work commitments changed. There's a lot to doing moderating. Oh, that sun's not really good, is it? There's quite a bit involved in the moderating because we hey Jen, how you going? Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah, look, there's I could do with a lady so that if any of the ladies are upset with the men, then they've got somebody to complain to. Not meaning that ladies complain, but being able to talk to a lady would probably be better. There is a lot involved in the moderation. There's vetting of people and oh, look at that. Oh, okay, Tammy, you wanted to... Well, anyway, look, there is quite a bit that's involved with moderating. It's not just simple. Hi, Terry. The moderators go through, basically, there's a little group that runs behind the scenes. That's what it's called. And in there I've got a video. It's an 8-minute video that... Hi, David. The video is, it shows people... how I vet, basically, and that has to be watched. That's an 8.5-minute video or something like that, and it shows you screen captured of me going through and actually vetting some real people that didn't make it into the group, and some that did. We don't take note of who they were, it was just as an example. So there's a little bit to do with moderating, how we vet who gets in, how we try and keep salespeople out, because we do get bombarded. I think, what did it say? I looked, with 10,000 people coming into the group, there was 1,000 people that didn't get in, that were rejected. So the moderating duties are fairly simple once you actually become a moderator and once you get in the slipstream. Mostly it's just being the gatekeeper, letting people in, doing the vetting and marshalling the feed. I kind of I need some time. I need some time out. I've kind of disconnected with my carving art for the sake of learning new stuff, which is beneficial and good and helpful. And I'm quite happy with where my carving is. But I don't do any of my big stuff anymore. The last thing was the mob, and I'm sort of thinking that maybe a couple of weeks where I focus on back to doing what I do, and then reintegrating with the group as much as possible. Maybe out carving for a bit with surgeries in April. Well, PM me is the easiest way, and then I'll probably link everybody together, and I might end up with more moderators than I need, or I may end up with just some. I'm trying to cover the time frames as well, like g'day Pete, trying to cover the time zones, like I'm like 12 and a half, 14 and a half hours ahead. It's 9 o'clock there. It's like no, it's like maybe 10 past 9 now, but it's like 20 to 12 here. Oh good. I'll take you up on that, Tammy. I'll be in touch. Yeah, it's I've forgotten what I'm saying. G'day Texas. Yeah, so basically it's so that I'm not something has changed in me at the moment, and because of the episode, which I wasn't really going to discuss, but because of last week now, I'm in a relatively low mood, which means I'm better for research, I'm better for doing some of the files, and not so much, yes, you are up when I sleep, I've been putting in like 14 hours a day, and for 240 days, and I'm not burnt out, but I don't think that I'm necessarily good. He sounds like a Brit living in Australia. Well, I was born here. Yeah, I grew up in the UK. So, yes, I do have a British accent. I don't have a localised accent. You couldn't tell where from Britain I am, because I wasn't. I'm from here. G'day, John. So yes, some new moderators that are time zones. That's what I was covering. I'm like 14 hours ahead, so I'm up during your night, which is good. But I'm the only one. The boys have been covering me, but that's been putting an extra load on them. And I think it would be a good idea if we have a little bit more. Especially if people are willing to go like those extra yards, if you are inclined to put some of your knowledge into files, that would be even better. We've got a plan that is sort of floating around, but it's quite complex, but it does things like, okay, carve a cube. Well, all you have to do is put it on the scroll saw or bandsaw or whatever, and cut off square, and you've made a cube. But oh, g'day, Gail. I was thinking about that, and I thought somebody suggested what you do is you carve a ball, and then from the ball you carve a cube, and then from the cube you carve a ball, and then a cube, and then a ball, and then a cube, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller until you're just left with a pile of chips. That I don't like the idea of, but I do like, I'm an Aussie living in Pennsylvania, I get accused of being a pom. I do too. People go, oh, you're a pom, you're not an Aussie, and I'm born here in Adelaide. The time zones, somebody in Britain would be good, because they're asleep now, and I'm not. And you're not, you haven't gone to bed yet, so somebody in Britain or Europe would be good, somebody in Australia would be even better, not an Aussie that's in Pennsylvania, that doesn't count, but if an Aussie would like to step up as a moderator, that would also be good, because then they would cover some of the nighttime shift of the main bulk of what happens in BW2, which is during your day. The nights are relatively quiet. It's just the rest of us globals. So yes, a couple of dedicated moderators would be nice. And I know that there was a couple of people offered previously, and I will probably get back in touch with you guys. I'm thinking 3 or 4, so that would take us up to 10 moderators, and 10 part-time moderators, so that nobody has it too intense, because it can be intense. Especially when, like January, when we had 5,000 people in, the boys and myself were busy with 150 people a day, and we're like, no, you didn't miss it, Brett. We were doing like 150 a day, between 5 or 6 of us. And so even if it had been 10 of us, there'd have been 15 people a day, which isn't too bad, but 150 people for one person. I know when December came around, the lovely Jen and Linda, who is no longer in the group, Linda's no longer in the group, she left, I don't know why, but she did. But Jen and Linda were moderating, and we had 3,000 people in December, and of course, because Christmas is such a busy time, I let in over 2,000 of the 3,000 people, and I was flat out all day, every day. I didn't even have time to do any of the challenges. I wasn't able to come up with challenges because I was that busy. But that's how it goes. December with 3,000 people was a shock, but 5,000 in January was even more of a shock. Now, a lot of those people are in the group. Whether or not they see us or not, I don't know. I do know that with the amounts of people that we've got, not many of you are doing the challenges, which is a shame. They're put there for learning lessons. I'm thinking of refloating the challenges so that we do a start over from the beginning. And there were some good ideas put up the other day when I asked if you guys had any good ideas, like one on comfort birds. That was a good one. I liked the idea that would come up that if we were to do a challenge and the winner of the challenge by likes then gets to choose the next challenge. That's I like that idea. I think it would be difficult to execute, but because it means everybody has to upload their photo into the album itself, and oftentimes people put them in the comments, they don't actually put them in the folder. There's lots and lots and lots of pictures in the folders that I have put there where I tag the person because I put them in the right place. I just house cleaning, I'm just tidying up, making sure that photos go where they're supposed to go. It's difficult because the different platforms, I can't necessarily say on an iPhone you upload here, or on a Samsung or an Android you upload here, and if you're on an iPad you upload here, and if you're on a tablet, I can do the tablet and I can do the phone, the Android, and I can do the PC, but I can't do the Apple stuff because I just don't have it. Being able to show people, yeah, I like the challenges over. Latecomers to the group and just getting caught up. Yeah. Well, it's like redoing the challenges. The challenges are the way that they're listed in the file. Okay, the newest ones are being put in at the end, but things like a ball challenge, then followed by a heart. It's kind of the next step. Carving a cube. Well, that you can do the ball and then the cube. That would be good. Hi, Tommy. But yeah, the challenges, refloating them, because some of the challenges are good, but we just didn't have either the people at the time or the inclination for people to do them, which is okay. But I mean, part of the reason why I dipped mood-wise was because I thought I was helping. I thought I was advancing the cause of and I was happy to do that. I actually thought I was helping. But then, of course, I looked through the photos and I saw how few photos, with so many people in the group, so few photos in the folders, and I thought, well, I'm wasting my time. And that made me feel incredibly sad, and my mood dipped, and I'm where I'm at, which is, I'm dealing with it, I'm fine. But I'm not necessarily overly enthusiastic about continuing at the rate that I was doing before. We do have enough people in the group. Yeah, well, thanks, Brett. Yeah, look, I could tell by the amount of happy birthdays, and last week was, I was overwhelmed with love, reflected back at me, and that was a bit much. I couldn't handle that. I didn't handle it very well anyway. Yeah, so the challenges are there for the group to do, and there's a lot of different challenges. Hey, Corey. There's a lot of different challenges there, but like Corey, good example. G'day, Eddie. Corey asked me about eyes, and I said to him, if you carve a ball, then you'll know what an eyeball does under the skin, and then it's just a matter of a couple of millimeters of material left on top, which is either bunched up with an open eye or they're flat over the ball. Now, if you've carved a ball, you know how an eyeball looks. It becomes ingrained. You know that stuff without even really having to think about it. There's little bits like the challenges that actually teach a lot more than you'd realise. I went back to basics. I can power carve, I can sculpt, I can do all of those things. That's okay, Corey. Birthday's gone. I'm now 52. Not much changes. Yeah, so refloating the challenges. If that was done fortnightly, one challenge a fortnight. There's 16, 17, 18 challenges, and that's 6 months that we're covered in challenges. Oh, wicked. Well done. I know there's a lot of work in that sign, and boy, it's looking good. Don't believe anything anyone says differently. It's bloody good. Very professional. Thanks, Tony. Look, the quality of the work on the feed, even from the beginners, is just outstanding. It's outstanding. I can see that you put in time and effort and love into your carvings, and I see that, and I sit looking at them and I just think, wow, and I write excellent and brilliant and stuff. It's because I mean it. For somebody for the first carve, and some of the first carves that have come up, I look at them and think, geez, I couldn't have done that for my first carve. Wow. And then I think, well, maybe there's been a bit of practice on other things and a bit of tinkering, but it's the first finished thing. And I tend to take that. But the quality of the work on the feed is just outstanding. Oh, Bill sent me a photo. Lovely, thanks. Can't see it. I'm on my phone at the moment, and if I touch anything, things go haywire. So I'm not. Yeah. So redoing the challenges, I think, would be a good idea. It also gives me time to. Yes, I'm a lot better than last week. It gives me time to think it through, to draw up better challenges, more ordered, better linked. There's a whole lot of stuff that to try and overcome the platform differences. The different platforms is difficult because for the phones it's hard to find files. Oh, you did it bloody well. Very good job, Corey. When you look at your first few pictures that you put up and you look at what you're doing now, you are learning very quickly, Corey. I'm very impressed with how quickly you're picking it up. Like you've jumped from a lot of beginning style flat things. Your faces have got a lot rounder, a lot more shape to them. You're doing bloody good. I do see on the feed, having spent so much time on it, watching everything that people do, and pretty much all the conversations I can scroll back to, because during the American Day, unfortunately, Facebook, of course, puts the ones that are relevant to me up, so I don't see everything. I often will open my Facebook page and there are pictures I haven't seen. I did not know that they were on the feed. That's how Mike Loyal put a greeting video up for me, which I was very grateful for, because saying hello and who you are, it's nice to know who the people are in the group. And if you feel like sitting in front of a video camera and just announcing yourself and maybe showing a piece of work or just introducing yourself, it's nice. It's nice to have a mental image of, like, you guys can all see me, and this feels more warm and friendly and family like, because somebody's discussing something with you in person to person. Although, of course, there's 20 of you sitting there and just me, but that's cool. So yes, because Facebook only shows me relevant to me, I have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and that's hard. That's where it's good when you've got a bunch of moderators covering all the time zones, because then the moderators say to me, did you see such and such? And I go, no, I didn't see it. And they link me to it, and I go, oh, okay, wow, didn't know that was there. So, greeting videos rock. Yes, they do. Nothing better than knowing who we're dealing with. Excuse me, it takes Facebook one step further. Instead of a faceless display or a carving, that's most of us do that. My DP, my display picture, is a self-portrait that I did years ago, and I don't put my own face on there. I put one of my art pieces, and we all do the same. A lot of us put up our art pieces as our display picture, which is great, but we don't know who we're talking to, so. That's a bit of a bugger, that one. So if you feel like introducing yourself, do so. Moderators or would-be moderators, there is some expectations of moderators. If somebody asks a question and you don't know the answer, there is always Google. That's what I did a lot. Now I've got to the point where I actually have Googled so many questions so often that I've learned the answers, so I don't have to Google anymore. But if somebody wants the proof, I can link them to where I've got the information. So being able to use Google is almost a prerequisite. If somebody wants a video, oh look, if everyone put one up, we'd have 12,000 people saying hello. Well, 12,500 people saying hello. I think here's a ball in a cage. Do you have a pattern for that, or can you help me with that later? Yeah, there's a pattern for it. There's also, if you look at the challenges, I put 3 or 4 photos up of how I did it, or what the stages are. I can lead you to that later, Corey. Yeah, there's a few things. If people say, I see it a few times. Oh, you should check out YouTube, but that's all they say. YouTube, you can get lost. There's so much on YouTube that distractions happen and you don't find what you're looking for. So if somebody asks for, let's say Corey's just asked for a ball challenge, the ball in the cage. Now I could link him to 3 or 4 videos that are online. There's one that was somebody, Jennifer Lickhart, I think it was, suggested a video where they do the ball in the cage. So there's a video link within the folder, within the photo album, so I'll link you up with that. But yeah, so if somebody says, oh, I want to carve a face, and you know a YouTube video that does exactly that, instead of saying, oh, let's go to YouTube, link them, go find it and link them to the link so that they go straight to the video that they're looking for, because that's incredibly helpful. Just telling somebody to go to YouTube, that's like somebody asks a question and the response is why don't you Google it? Well, there is a good question. Why don't you Google it? That's what I do. That's what I've done for months.
Yeah, it's hard to swim through the disinformation and erroneous information, or and the good information. So, g'day, Dave. Yeah. Close to tip top. Re-evaluating a lot of things. Trouble is with this mood, I become very pragmatical instead of optimistic. Not so much pessimistic. I used to be pessimistic, but not anymore. I now look for the truth, and the truth will set you free. It does. Sharing with all of you guys that I go through this. There was two things I could have done. I could have hidden it, and you would have gone, "What's up with Colin? He's not answering questions. He's not his usual self." No, I'm not my usual self. I go through this cycle regularly. I was lucky to have 8 months without it. Yes, it is. In current age of information technology, being efficient at using search engines can be considered a valuable life skill. Look, if anybody has problems with that, as a moderator, I can screen capture a video, and I can actually show people how I do that. I guess I probably could do that in our group, because the video would remain within the videos and a file would link it. Yeah, maybe. I'll seriously think about that. I'm just hoping I'm every day living in North Carolina. Say anything I can help to do nothing but just welcome newcomers, which I already do. Please let me know. Okay, no worries. Thanks. Look, as I said, if you're interested in moderating in the group, it is hard work. I reiterate more than once, it's hard work. There's a few days of mistakes. There's a few things that I walk people through. So PM me if you're interested. That's probably the easiest way, and I'll be inundated with PMs, and I may have to say, look, I've got too many, and then I create a short list, because sometimes the duties of moderating are a bit too much. We took on 8 last time, and 2 found it difficult. So, and now we've got 3 where work commitments are making it difficult. So there's 3 moderators that are working their butts off. Look, the ball in the cage, you can it's relative to what size piece of wood you've got. The rails are the only thing that you have to watch, and if you do them, I don't know, if you're doing a piece of wood that's 2.5 inches square by 4 or so inches long, 5 inches long, you can choose to do 1 or 2 balls, 3 balls. Fred Hewer did 4 in a smaller version. It comes down to the rails, and if you're doing a 2.5 by 2.5 by 4, or 2 by 2 by 4, then you're going to want about 3/8 of an inch, maybe a little less, but 10 mil or 3/8 of an inch rails. That's for the size I did on mine, but of course I did one that was like this big, a lot bigger, 4 inch, huge in comparison. My ball, I think, is 2.5 inches round, so the size doesn't matter. It's more about scale that matters with that one. But okay. Yep. If you look in the Corey, if you go to the photo albums, or you go to the file that says challenges, either will lead you to the ball in the cage, or if somebody can find it and put it up. It's a good hat, isn't it? Hides my baldness, it does. I love my hat. Well, we've all got big balls, you know. John Overby and myself have been having a balls competition. We are in the process of doing a newer video because g'day Gail, we are doing a ball, how to do the ball video again, because Well, first of all, there's something like 7 or 8 minutes of me just cheers, Corey. There's 7 or 8 minutes of me cutting a piece of wood to get it square, so that's not necessary. My very first challenge, the ball challenge, it was a bit of a balls up. Yes. So I think it's a bit elongated. Yes, thanks, Nay. Yeah, it's redoing the ball video of how to do it, and I don't know, I may spend a little bit of time, less time in the group, more time on content. So I might even go through and do some of the challenges again, video wise, so that there's a video to accompany to show you how to do it. And I know, look, YouTube has it. YouTube has everything, and what I tried to do was I try to have it, all the information you need at your fingertips, so within the group, because to me, why go elsewhere when it can be local, in the files, in the folders, photo albums. Facebook only gives us so much, and it's for me to learn the best way to use what Facebook give us to present the information. Now, the more information we put in, the harder the information is to find, unless of course you go to the directory file. The directory file is one that I'm constructing, where it takes you to where you need to go. G'day, Tina. Yeah, the directory file sort of links you directly to your destination. There are some more things I'm putting in there where, okay, we had a discussion on spoon finishes. I asked a question back in November, I think it was, October, November, about what can you put on a spoon that won't make it go rancid. And in the search bar, if you put in rancid, up comes that particular conversation, and in that conversation is everything about spoons, because everybody got involved. It was a really long, elongated conversation. People suggested the beeswax and the mineral oils and the butter that is made, and Danish oil was mentioned, and a whole lot of other spoon finishes were brought up. The conversation was really good, so linking to a conversation, I know that conversation happened, so I can link to that, whereas you guys, if depending on when you came in, may not have seen that. But the search bar in our group, if you're looking for a subject material, if you go to the search bar and you plug in what you're looking for, a lot of times you'll get conversations that have come up within the group, and all the information's there, and I sort of cracked the shits a little bit. Sorry, I had a little bit of a dummy spit, shouldn't say crack the shits. I had a bit of a dummy spit because people were saying, oh, go to this group, go to that group, and I looked at that and went, that's not what I've been working towards. I've been putting all this information into the group so that people don't have to go out of the group. If people want to go to other groups, not a problem. Going into another group doesn't necessarily mean leaving a group. In fact, going into more groups means that beginners have more information, which means it's better for beginners to be in more than one group. Selfishly, I didn't want to lose people. I like this group. I'm in all of the other groups, but I don't post in them. This is the only group this is the only group that's got me in it. So I tend what I love, and I love the group. There's no doubt about that. At the moment, me stepping back is because I'm not the best thing for the group at the moment. Having energetic, eager moderators would be lovely, because they'd cover my arse. Selfishly, they'd cover my arse. Which enables me to do more carving, more thinking, more planning, better files, less copyright infringement, more rewritten in our words. I do intend to go to a tip. If you're looking for wood and you can't find wood, look up turner's supplies. Wood turning lathes, because most shops that hold blanks for wood turners hold blanks for carvers. if you're looking at a timber yard, then oftentimes it's localized timbers because that's what they're cutting and that's what they're selling. So if you look for a turner's supplies, it should give you a whole lot of options, more options that are localized. It's just one of those little tricks that thanks, Steve. If I carve something like my Indian, do you recommend mineral oil, or what would you put on it? Well, mineral oil is only really for edibles, for if you're going to use it for cooking. You've got every option available to you. You could use Danish oil that would pop it. The Danish oil hardens inside and sort of gives you a bit of a skin. It clogs the pores. A lot of people use Danish oil. I have never used Danish oil yet. Some people use boiled linseed to condition their wood. I'm slack. I use spirit-based stains when I use stains. I don't like painting wood, although now that I'm carving a basswood substitute, it has very little grain that's obvious, so I can understand on that. I see painting. But anything that has a grain, then I'm kind of I love the look of wood. I don't want to see paint on a beautiful grain, because the grain itself is speaking to you. I love wood. I love the group. I love you guys. I don't know you, but I love you all. I love what we do. I love what you do. Every one of us is there's a core of the group. There's all these big numbers that don't matter. But there's a core of the group, and seeing posts constantly from a core. So I could sit here and with some time and a bit of paper and a pen, I could write down all the names who are the core. Been in this for 6 years now. Hearing the birds in the background has been awesome. I missed it. Yeah. Well, I had some crows over there. I had a magpie here earlier that was warbling and singing. You missed the piping shrikes. The old magpies, an Aussie overseas. Yeah, I did that for 21 years, 2 years in Germany, 19 years in the UK, and 33 years in Australia now. I love it. I wouldn't be anywhere else. The weather's right. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, so moderators, lots of work, carving, getting back to building the files. Okay, yeah, the refinement of the information that we have. Wood. I was going to say, I bought a whole chunk, lots of different types of wood, and I just I don't know. I don't know what to carve on them. There's part of me that says I have to do the same carving over and over and over again on all of the different pieces of wood, so that I know. I can compare them. Look, I call it Dedelaide for obvious reasons. Good place to raise children, God's waiting room. Not a lot happens here, unfortunately, except for you get idiots that run groups, because we've got bugger all else to do. Yeah, refinement of information. I do see some people have asked questions that, no, we don't have files on certain things, because I can only do so much in a certain amount of time. And yes, we've got a few files been put in by members of the group. Radelaide. Yeah, no, it's not Rad anymore, it's Dedelaide. I'm in the arse end of the world. God's waiting room. Yes. Yeah, so refinement of information, the files and stuff. A lot of the files are open to editing by anyone. So that is there. I don't want people going in there and just writing crap. That's accurate information would be good. John Obi and I were talking yesterday, carving people are some of the best people I've ever met. Most would give you the shirt. Absolutely, absolutely. There's been some real goodwill stuff going on behind the scenes that you're unaware of. Knives being bought and sent for people that haven't had them. or didn't have any. There's been wood purchased on behalf of other people because of circumstances. Sometimes there's nice things that happen that you don't know about. And that makes me feel very, very good because I've helped a few people in the States. Excellent, excellent, Tammy. You go, girl. You certainly know how to. You certainly know how to teach them how to make them. Listen to the birds, isn't that beautiful? G'day, Mark. G'day, Terry. So yes, look, keep doing your stuff. I'm not asking people to. I'm really asking new people to do the challenges. Not so much the skilled people, because the skilled people can do them, but the skilled people could show very quickly that it doesn't take long. For me to do a ball challenge, the very first one I did took me a few hours because I had my own homemade knives, which were crap. I had to use a range of tools, and I used a chisel, and I used a box cutter, and I tried a whole range of things to get that very first ball that I did. I succeeded because I had the will to do, and but then I did it again, and it took me 24 minutes, and then I did it again, and it took me 14 minutes. And I have videos of those. I haven't put any of them up because we've been, John and I have been trying to have a bit of fun playing with our balls. Woodcarver's ball challenge. The ball's really good because the fact that it teaches you curves that go upwards and round, it's every angle that you could possibly need. If you did half a dozen balls and then tried to do a face, your face would be so much better because you'd understand the three-dimensionality of it. Thinking in three dimensions is really hard. The process of making a bird feeder from leftover pieces of kitchen chairs, and it's going to be gruesomely ugly when it's done, but I can't wait to share it. Well, we look forward to gruesomely ugly too. Every face I carve is gruesomely ugly. That gruesomely ugly looks like an alien, and funnily enough, it looks like you, Colin. What can I say? I used to paint that bastard too. Sorry, us Aussies swear a lot. It's part of our culture. We do realise, I realise because of my travels, that not everybody swears as much as Australians do. But bugger it, that's Aussie for you. Oh, you're from Ireland. Anyone that cars a special kind of people, thanks for everything on the go. Yes, g'day Kang, g'day Gary. Yes, look, drop of a, what, in a pea floater? Yeah. Carving. It's the lifeblood of a lot of us. I do see that with technology, 30 years from now, carving won't be what it is now. There might be some of us teaching new people how to do it, but the tools are coming. Well, if you've got wood, you've got to have balls. Oh, I've got balls, I'll tell you. I've got the biggest, greatest balls of them all. There are no ugly carvings, just some needing more shavings removed. Look, thanks a lot for that, Brett. I can only carve ugly. It's all that's open to me is ugliness. I've got skills, nunchuck skills, bow staff skills. Oh, and I've got jokes. Oh, and I've got swearing skills. Oh, look, Terry, I know that you can do that. It may not have been a good idea to start talking about my balls. Not marbles, not glass ones. My balls. I've got my balls are actually on the shelf inside. That's how far away I can get from my wood from my balls. You can shut up. There's a crow laughing. Yes, well. So, yeah, the feed cheese, spoons, faces, Indians, reliefs. When it comes to swearing skills, the rest of the world are amateurs because only Aussies use the C word. Oh, C word. I don't know that one. Do you mean clam? That's a C word. You bearded clam. It's such a derogatory thing. The swear words are all derogatory to other things. Oh boy, yes. Oh boy. A Napoleon Dynamite reference. Do you really want to make me type it? No, I don't. No, definitely not. No. Yeah. Look, I started doing these lives, and I mean, it feels a bit silly sitting outside just talking. I can think a word that rhymes with that, and it's blunt. Does that say burnt? Oh, absolutely. You can smile and say you're such a runt and get away with it, as long as you're smiling. But in this group, if I uttered such a word, then it would drop straight away. Either we'd get a higher number of people coming on here, or suddenly everybody would disappear, and I would not want to offend anyone. Ach du liebe Scheiße. You're not the only one that can swear in German. Greek and English. Ah, Malaka. That's the only word I know in Greek. Ooh. Get off the swearing, Colin. Yeah, okay then. Oh, I've got to tell you, I got to pick up a chick. I did. I was walking the dog day before my birthday, and it's got nothing to do with carving at all. It's got to do with me picking up chicks in my local area. I've been single for 13 years, so I don't often get to pick up chicks locally. So I'm walking the dog, and she's sniffing around everywhere. Of course, she's sniffing around everywhere, and suddenly this disembodied voice says, "Can you help me?" And I think, I look and I can't see anybody, and I think, how can I help them if I can't bloody see them? Or maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe it's somebody asking a family member or something for help. So the dog carries on sniffing, and she stops, and this voice says, "Excuse me, could you help me?" And I look and I look and I look, and there's it's dusk, so the garden's in darkness, it's all shadows, and I look, and there's trees and bushes and everything else, and I look through all of these, and there's an old lady, and she's on the floor. And I said, "Oh, okay, are you talking to me?" She says, "Yes, I am." "Okay then, so how can I help you?" She said, "Could you pick me up?" I thought, cool, my luck's changed. It's been a long time. Okay, so the lady's kind of in her 90s, so she's a mature chick. So anyway, I go over there, and I got back problems because of carrying things and having a sore back. Well, she says to me, can you pick me up? And I say, yeah, okay. So she's saying this literally. So I say, "Now, where would you like me to grab hold?" She says, "Under the arms." I think, oh, up she goes. So I put my arms underneath her, and I forklift, and I start to lift her, and I think, oh, bloody hell. I noticed I changed what I was going to say originally. I was going to go, so I put my arms under her. I got my hands out like this. Not like this, but like this. Well, she was 90. It wouldn't have been any point. So anyway, ish. So I lift her, and I get her 3/4 way up, and I think, oh God, I'm going to drop her. Like, isn't she helping me at all? And then she managed to get her legs underneath her and elevate herself up. I'll delete, don't worry. Like I did last week's one. Sorry, that one I couldn't. I felt so much shame that I had to remove that video. Sorry, my bad. So anyway, I elevate her position, I lift her up, and she says, "Oh, I was just putting some rubbish out, and there's a stroller with a bin on it, and it's about 8 or 10 feet away from us." So I say to her, "Look, would you like me to empty that for you?" So I empty her bin into the bigger bin for her, and then so then I good. So anyway, I empty a bin for her. I give her walker, and she starts walking up the slope because there's a disabled ramp for her. So she's shuffling up the slope. So I say, "Look, I'll just hang on here to make sure that you get inside." And she says, "I've got a bloke inside, but he can't walk either." And I'm thinking, well, how long have you actually been there? The reason why she couldn't get her legs underneath her were because her legs had gone numb. She'd actually been there for 15, 20 minutes, and I was the first person to come along. And fortunately, I'm one of those people that listens to disembodied voices. Well, you never know your luck. But then I said to her, "I haven't had..." No, she didn't have a pretty daughter. Well, she wasn't there to help lift her up, but I said to her, "Look, I'm sorry, I just don't get to pick up chicks in this area very often." "Oh, I picked up a local, I did." But I thought, how lucky for her that it was me, because I did seek out the voice and I did help, and I felt quite good about myself afterwards, because there's nothing like picking up a chick. But I put her away unused, okay? I was a good boy. But her telling me that she'd already got a bloke inside but can't walk, I thought, what if they both fell over? Who's going to pick them up then? How do they manage? Fortunately, they live far enough away that I'm not within earshot. Thank you, China, for walking up that way. No. Yeah, so that was that was before my birthday, and I had a bit of a chuckle, and I thought I'd share that with you. Colin picks up an old chick. That's good, because no bugger else wants me. I hurt my back when I was 39. I've been out of the workforce for 13 years. It was a gilf, it wasn't a milf. I did think of saying to her, "So what's it worth?" I couldn't do it. She was already on the floor. She was laying down. I had half my work already done for me. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. She wasn't my type. Oh dear, sorry. I'll get my equilibrium back now. Yes, so saving an old lady from being on the floor for an indefinite period of time. Yeah. But I could imagine, like, in this area, if it had been somebody else, it would have been like, what is it worth? Like, do I get any monetary value for helping you? Or, nah, bollocks, I'll carry on walking. I wouldn't do that. Poor old lady. I mean, what went through my head was, how long has she been there? Like, really? Wow, how horrible for her. I'm making light of it because my side of things, but not from hers. She has a walker with wheels. I can't compete with that. I'm not Jen, unfortunately, although I have one of her t-shirts because helping out, and because I'm absolutely oh yeah, I'm working on that. I'm working on being a dirty old man. I live near two schools, so look, I walk past the school and say, "Look, you girls, if you're afraid of pedophiles, don't worry, you'll grow out of it." I was also talking to somebody else that said, you got me in the wrong mood. No, that's not what she said. We were talking about liking children. I absolutely love children, especially 14-year-old girls. You just can't be specific. It's okay to say you love kids, but you're not allowed to be specific. Hey, look, your octopus is looking absolutely spiffing, Terry, like that eye that you did. No. And you've got your tentacles in the right place. I'm glad to see that you've got good tentacles. Tentacles. We're not talking about balls again. Yes, she has, of how the nice man picked her up and didn't cost her anything. Look, I'm Australian. I'm not offensive. Yes, it is mounting. Well, guys, like, ultimately, I didn't come on here with a script. I have. If I had done, I'm not writing down what I did to that old lady. No way. It could be used in court in evidence, as Robert said. Oh dear. Yeah, look, I'm happy to have got my shed cleared up. I can do some. I can put together some tutorials in there. I've got a better workspace now that summer is in the decline. A testicle. We're putting our foot in our mouth when it comes to socialising. Hey, look, I've got both. I start off with both feet in my mouth, and they're not even mine. They're somebody else's. An old lady's. I always put at least a couple of feet in my mouth. G'day, Bernard. Sorry, I'm just trying to get over my laughing. Oh, dearie me. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to go and make myself a coffee. So, because I am lucky enough to have you all on a selfie stick, I can actually put you over there. Yeah, she was too. I think it was the pain. Oh dear, what are you doing to me? Oh, this is just wrong. Okay, it's gonna get a bit. I'm pushing too hard. No, that's not what she said. I was not on a roll. I said I didn't do any of that. Oh, and I want to show you guys. Look at this. I got a bottle of tequila for my birthday. Look how much I consumed. I'm such a guzzler. Happy Easter. Oh, g'day, Georgia. Another Dedaladian. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My camera is in reverse for some unknown reason. So this is not really me. I look like... Oh, Till. Where's my cup? My cup has gone for a walk, so let's wander around. The bonus of being on the phone rather than being on my computer. Oops, Mad Carver's relief carvings as my wallpaper, because Mad Carver, worth a look, brilliant relief artist. I wish we could get him to do a couple of tutorials. If you haven't been to Wood Carver's page, go have a look. He's got a couple of videos of him doing his stuff, and man, that's one of the world's best relief carvers in my opinion. Oh, Till. Oh, I was sealing down then, didn't I? Okay, right. I should have made this beforehand, but then I thought I'm only going on for 5 minutes. This is what happens with me. I can't shut up. That's what happens when... No, now you know what, I've got no friends. Well, other than on here, I have lots of friends. You guys have become my friends and my family. My kids have grown up, and I'm becoming obsolete at 52. They only need me when they need money or bailing out of shit. Poo. Yes, that's as children normally do. I'm reliable. That's a good thing. But my life hasn't really. I've sort of been sitting waiting. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. It's kind of why last week knocked me for a 6, because I'm self-evaluating, and there's some things that I'm not really happy about. I don't like having been single for 13 years. Don't like it. Somebody warm and squishy to cuddle up to on the cold nights. That would be nice. I'll have to carve one. You know, in days of old, when knights were bold and women weren't invented, men drilled holes in telegraph poles and had to be contented. Now, I don't know what knights were doing with telegraph poles, but... it does happen. Ah, lovely. I've got a nice cup of coffee now. So, now... ooh, dear. I could, while I'm here, as I've got the opportunity to, put my coffee down. You have seen things like this. Oh, I've just got to make sure, one, I don't tread on the dog. Carve one, which won't be squishy. Yes, yeah, well, she won't leave me because she'll be hard enough, won't she? As long as I don't end up with knots in the wrong place. Which is what happened to my last marriage. Still married. All these years haven't been... My wife and I split in 1999. I'm still married. That one I rebuilt. So when you've seen the video of me doing the rebuild, that's what the rebuild came out. Who says you can't replace what you take off? Here we go. And this is kind of what I've been missing. I've been missing doing these, the big ones, but the bigger ones take so much longer than the little ones. Doing the stuff in the learner stuff, I don't get to do such big ones. Oh, look, yeah. Well, I've got my own house. That's not enough for Aussie women. A couple of feet, if you fold it in half, isn't enough for an Aussie woman. What I don't have is a big bank balance, and unfortunately 30 to 55-year-olds want a certain amount of security, and I can't offer them that because I don't work. I am rejected from the working environment because of my back problems. I can do certain things here for a little while, but sometimes, well, most of the time I can do a little bit for a little while. But if I do a big day, then I might be laid up for a week. So unfortunately, the workforce doesn't want an unreliable person. But then it also means unreliable with funds, and that means 30 to 55-year-olds go, "You offer me no security. You've got a beard. You are not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy." Which is how I feel a lot of the time, is not worthy. But I've got so many reflections of my artwork around, because I used to be a painter and I've got paintings everywhere. I don't own anybody else's artwork. All I've got is my own. Take my word for it. Women go nuts for the Aussie accent in the States. My wife has had to beat women away with a stick. Oh, well, that way you get wood as well. One woman even gave me her number right in front of my wife. Yeah. Well, it's funny because in Australia, that's not the case. I've been single for 13 bloody years. That's 4,700 and something days without having had sex with anybody else. That's just not nice. It's not right.
It's not fair. I've got too much love to not. I've got so much love in me. I thought I'd show you my back bedroom. There's a bit of crap and rubbish in here, which I'm trying to avoid. But as my kids were growing up, they had this sort of room. You've got a beard, what? You just thought my face had gone mouldy, didn't you? Oh dear. Look at this. Like, on my fridge, not only wood, but clay. What's that one? Oops. That's it's good clay, that stuff. It's you heat it up, and once it's heated, it's soft and malleable, and then at room temperature it's quite hard, and a lot of people use it for moulding. Oh, tilt. What we got up there? We got a silly old man with a hat on, some broken chains that I failed on, a ball in the cage, and stars and all sorts. Yeah, well, so let's and the green screen. And the green screen was put up initially because I thought I would be doing far more tutorials and I'd be able to use the green screen to present them, and I'd be able to sit here and waffle through them. But then I thought, who wants to hear me waffle for an indefinite period of time? Well, some of you. There's 17 of you now. What sort of clay was that? You were talking about coal, the one that's hard at room temperature. It's called, the brand that you can get is, what's it called? Thinking. No Name Clay is the big brand. The clay, shit. Can't remember where I put it. Let's. I might be able to. I've got two lots. I've got some that I made into that face, and there are others that I've got. I might even have the actual brand. Let me have a quick squeeze in my cupboard. In my cupboard. Oh, sorry, Jen. I didn't mean to drop your shirt. No, I'll put it away somewhere. I'll put it elsewhere. No, it's not here. No Name Clay. Yeah, No Name Clay. That was the name of it. Happy Feet. I didn't know that was there. Yeah, no Name Clay, I think it was called. No, I don't know where I put it. Can't answer that now, but I think it was No Name Clay. It's oil based, yes. It's not like plasticine or air drying clay. What I'll do is I'll find the link. That's the easiest way. I'll find some for you. Okay, let's pop you there. Let's click on that. Couldn't see the thing, but yep, okay, right now. No Name Clay, I think it was. No Name Clay. Let's have a look. $15.90 for a pound of No Name Clay. Oil wax based sculpting clay cloud stars. Okay. No worries, Steve. Thanks for coming. Appreciated you being here. I appreciate you being in the group as well. The stuff that you've been putting up is just out of this world, mate. Out of this world. Okay, you've got it. So let's have a look. Oh my God, I'm going to see myself live. Oh, look at that. That's a bit bad. I can watch myself. Where's Robert's comment?
American German. Oh, it must be the oil wax based. Okay, just in case. Oh, I can't comment. Pin comment. No, I don't want to pin a comment. Unpin a comment. Okay. Paste. There we go. It's anatomy, no more clay. Okay, you've got that. You've got that page. No worries. Okay. No worries, Steve. Have a good meeting tomorrow. Have a good group tomorrow. Hey, set up a camera. Copy, like, film some of it if you could. A lot of people in the group don't have access to a group, so if you could even have a camera set up, maybe you could do a live. You're no worries, Robert. That's actually really good. You can get it over there a lot cheaper than I can get it here, but it's bloody good stuff. It's there are some videos on it. You can see how to do Bruce Lee and the Hulk were two of the ones where you can make anatomical figures or figures to be able to mould. So, and it's how they do them in the industry. When they want plastic ones, that's what they do. They make it out of that stuff first, and then cast it in plastics, and they make their metal moulds for the plastic. But there's a couple of links. I'll find them because I've seen a couple. I will find them, and I will I'll pass them on. I don't think that I've got them linked. There was a time when I was able to download such things. But okay, stop.
We're at the link.
Yeah, you can shut up. Shut up. God. Okay. Sorry. Was that it? Yeah, okay. Brilliant. Copy, shut that down, and for all of you, that is actually worth the watch, because when they do it, they use calipers so that the size is right, and if you're taking an image from they do it with clay, but we can do it just as easy. Good night, David. We can do it just as easy with wood. So it's a damn good video in that it shows how somebody would take a scaled photograph, side on, head on, and they're able to create a three-dimensional image that is Bruce Lee. It looks like Bruce Lee. So worth that link there. The YouTube one is worth a look by anyone, that even if you're not doing clay. Look, I've been on here for an hour and 15 minutes. You guys are getting fed up with me because blah 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 blah. Wanted to show you two things before I go. One, a Helvy knife, a Helvy detail knife that bit me today. It went through the side of the plastic tube and stuck me in the finger. So be careful with these plastic tubes as covers, because if you put pressure on the side, the blade will come through. I had to use super glue on the bloody thing, wouldn't stop. And from Carl, this was well worth it, well worth the money. It is a brilliant, simple Kiradashi knife. All it is just a slither of metal. Look at the blade on that, all angled on one side. And that cuts beautifully. Kiradashi knives, something to keep in mind. That's another option. Now on that, I am going to call it quits. Thank you very much for participating with me this week. I'll get to the people that are interested in moderating, and no, it wasn't, but it was actually invented during World War II as plastic sights for snipers' rifles, and it was discovered that way. If you look up super glue, it wasn't invented to close wounds. There's actually a really good tale about how 1942 that they came up with super glue. Brilliant. Now on that note, I love you guys. That's that simple. I love what you do. Keep doing it. I look forward to seeing the stuff on the feed. If I'm not around as much, don't worry. I'm still here. I'm still in charge of the ship. I'm just looking to expand the people that help do that. So thank you very much for a lovely evening. Thank you for putting up with my old tale of picking up chicks, and I'll catch up with you later. Adios, my friends. Safe and happy carvings. Safe and happy Easter and carvings. And I'll see you on the feed. Oh, I'm trying to turn it off with the mouse. You see what a blithering idiot I am. I'm trying to stop this on there. Doesn't work. See you later, guys.